All right, Stacey Dales here with us on CHGO. I wanted to talk to you because you have been covering playoff teams, games for years now, parked out at hotels at the Super Bowl and things like that. So you've been around this, but this is new to us here in Chicago a little bit. But you also live in this city. So
I do.
So what are you experiencing right now being around this Bears team so far in this playoff run?
Yeah, it takes a special, great to be with you, as always is, Adam. It takes a special blend to get to this stage. And for the teams that, are able to survive and advance, you sort of start to see a very unique brotherhood that changes year to year, but you have to have that blend, and the Bears have it. So from my standpoint, and I don't get a lot of home games typically, not to mention home playoff games. So this is rare territory, but it's exciting territory for not just the Bears fans and fan base, but the work that this group has put in and how close they've become, and that closeness, that bond. You don't get to a Super Bowl without it, and I think this team has it.
We've spent a lot of time talking about Ben Johnson this year, even when we've talked to you. What do you see from him in the way he's captivated this team that maybe gels with some of the other playoff teams you've been around in past years?
Such a plan, such detail in the plan, and just such a vision that I think came to life. And it started with his quarterback, and I think it was a brilliant hire. There's a reason Ben waited in the cycle to take the job that he wanted, and I think that you're seeing it come to fruition now with his quarterback, this offense. It's been one of the best offenses in the league throughout the course of the season, and the defense has really pieced things together. Bend don't break. They probably hate that term, but and getting takeaways, and I think they've done it at a high level on both sides of the ball in different ways. But the explosive plays have been fun to watch, certainly, with a quarterback who loves big moments, as you know.
I love how every day we learn a new detail about what Ben's been doing. So today it was the Kevin Byard saying that they've been making practice in the cold without heaters all season, and now it seems to be paying off. I know you love winter. You love cold weather.
Yes.
Did you appreciate that from learning that no heaters out here? We got to learn how to play without them.
Yeah, suck it up. Suck it up, Buttercup. I mean, honestly, I do like cold weather, but this is dragging a little bit. So these players are not not putting it mildly, not probably pleased with that, but it does show up on game day, and the readiness. Just knowing what you had to go through and during Wednesday's practice with your hands in order to be ready for Sunday with your hands, it makes a difference. And these other teams, Adam, they don't have the luxury of it. You know what I'm saying? So, you can't go out in LA and manufacture this kind of weather. And so, it is an adjustment. And I said before earlier today on another broadcast that when you're not used to it, you have to see how quickly you can adjust to it, not just in pregame, but once the game starts, because that's when it matters, obviously.
What has stood out to you about Caleb's growth this season? Is there anything it's definitely been a journey. I remember being here in August when it was actually warm out, and kind of feeling some of the friction that was going on and some of the struggles. And it's just kind of remarkable how it looks and sounds now, especially with that emotional moment in the locker room the other night with the game ball.
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and I think it's an important question because the growth has been very palpable. And the recurring conversations that I have with players are how much more demanding he is, how much more fluid the communication is between he and Ben, which is why I asked Ben, well, what's it like coaching him in big moments? And I loved his response. I mean, what is the situation? How quick does the situation need to happen? Making sure they're on the same page. And that part of it has helped Caleb step into the huddle. It's evident. And don't ask me, go ask his teammates. He has stepped in there with the conviction and, the cadence, and obviously he's much more comfortable at this stage, which is why you're seeing all these big moments come to life. The other thing I would say, Adam, is the rehearsals weekly. I mean, you could speak to this as well, right? When you talk about the play that won the game coming off of a screenplay, I believe it was, and you saw that same play early in the game. Those are very rehearsed. The touchdown in week 16 to also DJ Moore, that was rehearsed, as you know, during the week. And that is Ben Johnson, and that is the quarterback taking the teaching.
I thought you were on top of it after the game with some of your questioning, because I thought Caleb's emotion during the game was notable.
Yes.
But I think the more we've learned about the reasoning behind it. And I just thought it was a big moment for him because we've seen him maybe in the past not handle the emotional aspect of the game perfectly at times when there's been struggles. But this seemed to be the first time where it was actually technically other teammates that weren't necessarily dialed in. And it was him as the quarterback, as the guy with that C on his jersey saying, like, hey, come on, this isn't acceptable. And that felt notable to me because every great team usually has a quarterback that demands that respect. Mm-hmm. And I thought the results from that point on, I mean, it seemed to help.
Spot on. I loved it. I want my leader. I want my quarterback. There's a reason Tom Brady has the quantity of Super Bowls that he has, and we're not obviously declaring Caleb Williams Tom Brady yet or Patrick Mahomes yet, but you have to have that sort of conviction, and you throw around the word aura and demand from your teammates. And I think to see that and to see it in action and to see it on the sideline, big fan of it. Because if I ever played on a team when I hooped, and if it wasn't me calling out my teammate for, executing the wrong way, it should have been somebody else. And that's how you hold the best locker rooms are player-led locker rooms where there's an accountability factor, and it's really cool to see it come from a second-year quarterback.
And I think any of us that were in this building last year knew that was something this team was really lacking. So to see that come out in a playoff game, I thought was huge. Mm-hmm. Last thing for you, just kind of look ahead to the Rams. What are the storylines that you're kind of focused on here as we get really into the heart of the game week now?
Well, you start with Matthew Stafford, likely MVP of the National Football League, who's in the regular season, 46 passing touchdowns, almost 5,000 passing yards, and certainly he has some skill players that will be a challenge, I think, for the Bears to defend. When you think of Puka Nacua, it's interesting, Adam, there's no receiver that has more yards per game in the playoffs, albeit 4 games, than Puka Nacua. And there's no receiver, specifically receiver, with more receiving touchdowns than Devontae Adams in the playoffs since he entered the league as a rookie back in 2013 or 14, whatever that was. So those two have to be dealt with. Defensively is, you're dealing with a front seven that gets after it. Almost 40% pressure rate this past season in the regular season from their group. They're really good up front. And so handling the pressure, if you're Caleb Williams, and trying to slow down that top scoring offense with Matthew Stafford will be the big keys for the Bears.
And a new left tackle for the Bears this week too.
Right.
We don't necessarily know who exactly it'll be. We be Theo or Braxton, obviously, but that'll be a big storyline. Stacey, you are the best. Thank you so much.
Always great to be with you.